Chris, top timer last start, Happy Valley winner. He's only had limited starts, but he looks like he's got a good amount of ability.
I think, just like what I say, this horse, he seems like the first couple of runs he ran well, but, he's just only 3 years old. So, and we talk about with the owner, give him a bit time, and he showed his ability, and finally, he won in the last time, and impressed, yeah.
He was only 1,020 pounds last start, and he's got a further 8 pounds to carry Wednesday night. Do you think he's good enough to handle that extra weight?
That's the problem, That's what I say, That's what I say to the owner, because he's a young horse, he's 3 years old, and he showed his ability, but we doesn't want to push him too hard, and because his body is the frame is light. That's why I think is a good experience. We have to find out tomorrow, and because the horse is still have time to growing, and I think honestly for this horse, maybe next season, I think, should be better. But, we have no choice. We won the race last time. We have to carry the weight. We don't have any choice. So, we find out tomorrow.
How's he trained on? Is he a horse that needs a lot of work between races?
Yeah, just like before, as usual. Not pretty hard. Just like like my training style. Give him a normal gallop. Everything. He after the race he put up. Eat well. Everything's normal. Appetite is good. We do the same thing.
The stable's form, you've had 27 winners. You've unleashed plenty of younger new horses. Who are you most excited about to see next season potentially going forward?
I think as one of my horses, Honog I. I think he got a pretty good big heart. Even last time he racing pretty well. I hope this weekend we step up to the 16. I think I really hope we get a good draw, and he still keep a perfect good performance.
Andrea, Colourful King out of the David Eustace barn. He's done a super job since arriving here. He's only a lightly tried 3-year-old who's won 2 of 3. He looked visually impressive last start. Talk us through that performance.
Yeah, no, he was obviously trialling quite well before he even ran here in Hong Kong. His trials were very good, and his first start up on the straight, it was a really good run, considering it was his first run here. And then obviously David decided to take him to the valley, and he seemed to be, I wouldn't say the key, but he seemed to worked quite nicely, and he won first start there. Only just got up, and then last time was quite impressive.
Did it look as easy as it looked to us on the line? Because he seemed to be doing it really well, and he had his ears pricked too.
Yeah, he jumped good. We had a good gate again the last day, and managed to get to the fence. And he doesn't really give you much of a feel until you actually ask him to go. Halfway around the bend, it was still a little bit green. He's only a young horse, and it's only really when we got into the straight and he sort of pulled himself together that he really got rolling, and he beat up quite nicely. And he hit the line quite strong, and like you said, he pulled up with his ears pricked.
We know he's up into Class 2 now, and there's nowhere to hide when you get into Class 2 amongst some of these older horses, and he's got 120 on his back. Do you think he can measure up Wednesday night?
Well, it's obviously these Class 2s are never easy. I know it's a small field, but don't forget he's only a 3-year-old. He's only a young horse taking on all the horses, hardened horses that have been there and done it. But listen, he's done nothing wrong. He's in with a lightweight, and he's improving every run. David seems to be very happy with him. He thinks he's improved again, which he'll need to. But no, he's a lovely horse, and like I said, he's only a young horse, but which I think will be a very promising horse for next season too.
You speak of next season, all of his victories, obviously 1,000 metres, obviously a couple in Australia as well. Is he a horse that might stretch out a little further to maybe 6 furlongs in time, or is the 5 furlongs ideal for him?
It'll be interesting to see what he's like tomorrow night, how much speed he's going to show, because some of these horses, they do get quicker with more racing, but the way he's at the moment and the way David has been training him, it wouldn't surprise me if eventually he'll go up to 6. He probably has to, because there's only so many races, over 1,000 for him, but the way he's been racing and the way he's been hitting the line, I don't think 6 furlongs would be any issues later on.
The race shape this week, there looks to be quite a bit of pace in the race, as there invariably is over the 1,000 metres. Do you get a similar sort of run to what you got last time, being a small field?
I hope so. We've got a good gate in one, and just get it. Obviously, this sort of distance is very important to jump good, and hopefully get him out of the gate as well as we can, and let him travel wherever he's comfortable. And very similar to last time, just went to the straight and have a go at him, and hopefully they come back to us. But no, he's been doing everything right, and he's a very nice horse, and it'll be interesting to see how he copes tomorrow night.
Mark, mission strike at Happy Valley Wednesday night off the back of a 2,000 metre race at Sharton. What was your verdict on the run there? Because he looked like he wanted to lay in a bit and do a bit wrong there.
Yeah, look, he was just reluctant to come between horses and finish the race off. So we've gone with the blinkers this time. His previous couple of runs at Happy Valley 1800 were both good. So he gets the blinkers on and back to Happy Valley. Should be a nice race for him.
You mentioned he's wearing the blinkers. He's been wearing them in work. How's he been working in those shades?
Yeah, he seems to have reacted well, and hopefully it just gives him that little more confidence. I mean, he's only a young horse with limited experience, so it's understandable that he's still learning his craft. But he's got enough talent to be winning races already. We just need to help him on his way.
He's got barrier 9 on the C+3 Wednesday night. Does that sort of dictate continuing that racing style he's adopted so far?
Oh, look, I think the way he jumps it's sort of forced us into a position where we ride him a little bit quieter. He drew well the other day and he was closer, and he didn't finish the race off as well as we'd hoped, but I think that was more his reluctance to come between horses than anything else. But look, from that start and how he jumps will be in the second half of the field.
Quick report on My Wish after the weekend and his brave placing in the Champions Mile.
Yeah, look, I thought he did us proud, as he has done all season. He's been a very consistent horse right from day one of the season, but that'll do him now. But gives us every indication we can aim pretty high with him next season.
Really has done a remarkable job considering he started the season a maiden of 54.
Yeah, and he led all the way over 1200 the first meeting of the year, so he's done a really good job. And look, next season hopefully we can aim for the International Mile in December, and then the same race again in end of April.
Harry Flying Fortress, nice enough 4-year-old who picked up his first win last time out. You sat that bit closer in the run. How did you rate the overall performance?
Yeah, I thought it was a good performance. We got a beautiful run through, as you say, and once he struck the front, he was able to put the race to bed, albeit a little bit green.
Those early stages, did it just take him a little bit of time to sort of settle and find his racing rhythm?
Yeah, he does. He does race a little bit keen at the moment. He's still sussing the whole thing out, and once he relaxes that bit, he's going to be a little bit more effective.
Barrier 10 over 1650. Does that sort of force your hand that you might have to go back and ride him for some luck? Because we know he does have a good turn of foot too.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best play. Obviously, I'll speak to Cody and see what he wants me to do, but I'd just worry about setting him alight if I tried to go forward with him from that draw. So, yeah, it's most likely we'll just take him back and hopefully come home well.